Hey, Don, what's up? What's that?
You know, life is hard. Times are tough. But the best part of every day is waking up with my dear friend Lou.
Thank you. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Well, I've brought you here today for a very specific reason.
What was that?
I have an internal debate going on in my head at all times. I wonder sometimes, which Disney princely character would actually be the best boyfriend, like ever? Actually, thinking realistically. Because I know we all have our compulsive answers. Everyone's raising their hand and saying they know which prince is the best. You don't. Wait,
no. I tried to interrupt you because what you just said made no sense to me. There are men in the Disney universe?
What do you mean? Yes, there are men in the Disney universe. There's quite a lot, actually.
That's crazy. So you're telling me there are boyfriends in the Disney universe, canonically?
Canonically, there are many boyfriends. In fact, most of them end up being husbands.
Wow. News to me.
And they let kids watch this.
That's crazy that they're pushing their agenda onto children so young, too. Luckily, I did not watch Disney. I was a big Dreamcast head. You know, Dream Farts? The guys who made Shrek, you remember.
Dream Farts?
Yeah.
But you don't even like Kung Fu Panda. How could you call yourself a true Dream Farts fan?
How about we move on to the tier list before we start arguing about Kung Fu Panda?
All right. I see you're trying to silence me, but let's just start
Yep, that's beginning. Me. I'm the silencer.
That's what they call me, the silencer.
Yep, 100%.
Do you remember the prince? You know, the prince from Snow White. The guy. You know the guy?
This is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know how you found out that there were men in the Disney universe.
Look, okay. Here's some things you gotta understand about the prince. He exists. And he's kind of nice, I guess.
That's such a powerful thing you said. Yes, he sure does exist. You exist, buddy.
Proud of you.
Good job, King.
He's
hold on.
Look at his sweet face.
I was about to say I do like the look. Very much same face as Snow White.
Yeah, they're kind of giving twinsies.
Twinsies.
He doesn't really say or do much in the movie. If I remember, he shows up at the beginning-ish and he's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm a cool guy." Then he goes away for pretty much the entire movie until they need him again. And then he comes back and he's like, "Hey, what's up?"
There is no way that happens in Snow White.
What do you mean?
Of
course it does.
I don't think that happens in Snow. He shows up in the beginning. I thought he kind of like came in the middle.
No, he's at the beginning because Snow White's like I'm wishing.
What? It shows you how much I know about the golden era. I don't feel like I watched Snow White the way that other kids watch Snow White. I saw the 7 dwarves, and I was like, wow, there's 7 of them, and I stayed
sure
there.
Are. Well, Prince, I don't really think I have a lot of data to go on here about whether or not he'd be a good boyfriend, but like he seems like a really nice guy. I mean, like there's no red flags. Just look at him; he looks very sweet.
There is a red flag, and you know it.
Okay.
You know what the red flag is.
What is it, that he's gay or something?
That's not okay. We'll unpack that another time. But 2, he kissed her while she was asleep. That's non-consensual.
What? She was cursed. He had to. There was no other option.
But what if she wanted to take a nap?
She didn't. She very much didn't want to take a nap.
Where are you getting this info from?
Because she's warned. She's warned beforehand. Oh, hey, someone's trying to kill you. You need to go away. That's why she ends up at the 7 dwarves' house. She runs through the woods and it's all like, ah! Ah! She gets scared by the scary-looking trees. And then she's at the cabin and she's just trying to survive. She doesn't want to take a long nap. She wants to live. Damn it.
Girl, if I was being chased through the woods, I would want to take a long nap after running that far. That's crazy. That's easily a minute mile.
Okay. Now, to be fair, she does take a nap at the house, the 7 dwarves' house.
So she tired, bitch. She tired.
A little bit. A little bit.
Okay. Take a nap, queen. Don't let anybody tell you to get up. especially not
I'm
a
gonna,
man.
I'm gonna rank the prince a 5 out of 10.
He's
What about
fine.
you?
No, I'm gonna be real with you. He's fine. My opinion, not the millennial feminist opinion, but my opinion is he did help her out.
I mean, yeah,
he was just doing his
before.
best.
He was like, "Oh my god, we gotta break the curse. I gotta do this." And he gives her a little kiss.
I don't know why Dopey couldn't have done it, but you know.
Okay, well,
he was helping out. So I'm not gonna say, oh, he's shit. He's not shit. You know, he's just a guy. He's fine. He has a sweet
give me a
face.
ranking. Give me a ranking out of 10. What boyfriend material ranking would you give him?
I'll give him a 6 out of 10.
Okay, that's generous.
Yeah.
But we'll go from there.
I'm a giving guy. I'm a giver. Very generous.
Now you know the prince. You know the.
You're being stupid to me right now. None of these guys have names.
No, this guy is Prince Charming. He's Cinderella's prince.
The OG. Let me see him.
This is Prince Charming.
You could have come up with a better picture than that.
That's the best. This is when he's all like, yawn. These women, they bore me.
Oh. I think this is the only time being gay is a red flag.
Now, the thing about Prince Charming is that there are Cinderella sequels that people are very fond of. I have to admit, I never really watched them.
Okay.
Not really. You know, like Cinderella Twist in Time.
Yeah.
And the other one.
I did watch
really
one
watch
of
them.
those. Not sure which one though. I'll tell you that much.
I know he gets more characterization in those movies, but I don't care. I'm gonna base him on the original Cinderella movie, and I think he's alright. Like, he's the kind of guy you go on a nice date with, you make good conversation. Like, after they dance, they like spend time in the garden and stuff, just walking around and like talking, and I think that's nice. You know, he's a nice guy. He's might I say he's charming.
I guess you could say that. I would say he's alarming, if anything.
Alarming.
Any man who comes in and rates a woman solely based on her feet needs to be killed.
Okay, but that's the situation. The situation called for it. He's not rating them.
He went to the Ugly Stepsisters with, by the way, very offensive name. Who came up with that? He goes up to them, tries the shoe on. He's just like, ugh, 1 out of 10. Maybe
that's not
and then Cinderella comes up, puts her little dainty little foot in there, and then he's like, oh, 10 out of 10. Yes, good. And then he marries her.
Doing.
Lame. Stupid. Weirdo behavior.
That's not correct.
I'm pretty sure it is, actually.
That's not right.
Yes, it is. That's the.
She
you
drops
didn't
her.
see
He
Cinderella?
spends I did. Obviously, you didn't.
I did see. Are you being serious with me right now?
I'm being so serious. Hear me out. Okay. Girl comes to the ball. She's by far the most interesting woman that Prince Charming has been with. She doesn't really, you know, she's treating him like an equal. They dance, they talk, they have a wonderful time. Prince Charming, for once, is not bored out of his mind. Then she's like, oh, fuck! It's midnight, I gotta go! So she starts running, drops her shoe, just the one, and then disappears forever. Prince Charming's like, I need to find this woman. I need to find her right now, because I didn't get her name, or whatever, I guess.
Okay, uh-huh.
So he takes the one shoe and he tells his little servant guys, he's like, go to every single woman in town and have them try on the shoe. Whoever fits the shoe is the lady I'm looking for. And Cinderella wants to try on the shoe because she wants to prove that it's her. But her evil stepmother locks her in the attic, so she can't go downstairs until her mouse friends help her get down there.
Are you feeling real stupid recounting this movie like it's important?
It's so important.
Like,
he wasn't rating them on their feet.
He comes in, he says none of these women are exciting, and then he's talking to a cardboard cutout. Are the other women's heir?
Are you talking about Cinderella?
I for sure am.
What? You're so mean to her.
What is her interesting quality that she shows him at the ball?
They talk. They have a wonderful connection.
I can talk with a random guy on a random Tuesday too, and he's gonna try and propose to me with a shoe.
4 out of 10.
I'm giving him a 3 out of 10. He's nothing to me.
3?
What did he do? All he did was search for the woman. At least the first guy tried to help her out. He didn't do shit. They had a lovely
got her
conversation.
out of the
I
situation.
get that.
So this is love.
If he look, the only time I cared about
this is
Cinderella
love.
was when she was played by Brandy.
Okay, I mean fair.
Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead.
Now you know the prince of Sleeping Beauty.
I
His
swear to
name
God, I do not.
His name is Prince Phillip.
He had a name actually.
He does. He does have a name. They say it a few times. Prince Phillip. He looks like this.
Okay, stop, because this is the same thing that happened with the Snow White guy. He just has her face.
Now this might be true, but here's the qualities of Prince Phillip that I enjoy. Prince Phillip fought a fucking dragon for this girl. Now, which of the other princes can say they actually fought a dragon?
No, ma'am.
Not many.
See, nope. This is solid 8 out of 10 guy. I don't even have to discuss it. I remember that fight. That was crazy.
Not only does he help her out by kissing her awake because of the curse, which, you know, is the same as the Snow White guy.
Yeah, but
he also
went a step
slays
further.
a fucking dragon.
Yes,
yeah, he goes
exactly.
he goes like through he goes through hell. He like actually does a lot for her, and it's out of the kindness of his heart, and they have a funny little exchange. They seem to be getting along okay. Now, does this make him a good boyfriend? I guess. You know, he's going above and beyond for her.
Lou, if this, I don't know how crazy we can get on the podcast here. If this man woke me up with a kiss telling me, yeah, I slayed a dragon for you, I would beg him to be my husband. I would not leave that situation without a ring on my finger.
All right, well, I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 from me too. The fact he has her face is very funny to me, but that's what's keeping him back, unfortunately.
This is maybe perhaps not a conventional prince character.
There's no way you can surprise
stretch.
me. There's no way you can surprise me.
Now, this guy, you might even argue, does not fit our categories for today. I don't care. I would like to talk about Robin Hood, the Fox character.
Okay.
And how good he would be as a boyfriend.
No.
No?
No.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry to the fans. He looks very non-committal. I watched that movie.
Well,
he's very
he's super
non-committal.
committal. He loves that one lady really a lot.
Yeah, but that might last for like a month.
He is a little wishy-washy.
Mm-hmm.
He is kind of in and out, isn't he?
Yeah, he's to me, he's all about the hunt. He's all about the rush. He probably does what he needs to do, and he's like, you know what, girl? I'm so glad we were here. I'm gonna go out and get something to eat. Do you want anything? And he just never comes back.
Wow. Well, here's the thing: is I think that he is very romantic.
Yeah.
And he does love, deeply, but I do think his attention is very easily diverted to other issues.
Correct.
And he might say he's happy settling down, and then like a month into marriage, he starts to get kind of weird and antsy, and you could tell he's like bored. And I don't know, maybe you'd have to be a certain kind of lifestyle to kind of keep up with him to begin with, but he's not going to be one to settle down with. He's more like a passionate night or two every other month.
Yeah, like the guy on the side. You just kind of talk to him, you call him when you're bored, and he's just like, I got nothing to do. I'm not stealing from nobody right now. He's, let me tell you this right now, he's situationship material.
Okay. Good situationship.
Yeah.
Bad boyfriend.
Horrible boyfriend. But like if you're not busy, he's not busy, call him up, have a date. Like, I like that. That's nice.
Okay, I'll give him a 3 out of 10 on the boyfriend scale.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and give him a 0 out of 10. But
0?
then a 10 out of 10 situationship.
We have so many more guys to talk about. You're gonna give your 0 to Robin Hood?
He's just not boyfriend material. That's just life.
Now, this guy might not be what you would call a conventional boyfriend.
The second one?
Princely type.
We're already on the second one of that?
But to me, he's a prince. I'm talking about Baloo.
You are wrong!
I'm talking...
There is a prince royalty character there! You didn't think of Louis?
I didn't think of him at all, I'll be honest.
No! Do you know how stupid this is? Because I thought the Robin Hood one was gonna be Louis.
Really?
Yes! And then you come to the actual Jungle Book and he's not there!
I forgot there was a king in that one.
Okay.
It's so real.
No, forget it. Cause, no, whatever.
Now, Baloo, if you had a kid with Baloo and he was like your baby daddy, he would be so good to that kid.
Lou?
Baloo.
No,
Yeah.
Lou.
What?
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
That was such a crazy scenario you came up with. And it's not even the tailspin Baloo.
No, it's Jungle Book Baloo. If you had a child with Baloo,
okay,
and like things didn't work out between the two of you, but you know, Baloo would still be there for the child, like 100%.
Yeah.
He would show
I
up
mean,
to the
he
birthday
adopted
parties.
a kid randomly.
Yeah, like he cares for this kid. He is a caretaker, even though he's a little unconventional. And him and his new partner Bagheera might disagree on some new things, some stuff, parenting styles.
Like, for instance, why Baloo is still talking to me about the kid when he doesn't even want to get married to Bagheera. Go ahead.
Right, exactly. So, all things considered, Baloo would make probably a bad boyfriend. He's very lazy. He doesn't really seem to care much about a lot of things, that you might.
Yeah.
He's very unserious, and maybe to a certain person that's appealing, but it's like you'd have a hard time having a serious conversation with him, and that could get frustrating in a relationship, right?
That's the funny thing. This is why I'm not in a relationship. I think that shit's hilarious. I would also be fucking around when I have a kid right here, and Baloo's just like, me and him are just dancing and talking about pickled paw fucking fruit, and the kid's just like, hey, can we go out to dinner or something? Like, nah, me and your daddy are dancing.
So I think I would give Baloo like a 4.5 out of 10 on the boyfriend scale, but I would give him like a 10 out of 10 on the co-parenting scale.
Yeah, that's actually kind of where I'm at too. Yeah, I don't think he's a good boyfriend, but co-parenting, baby daddy status, I think he can do that. Good job.
This one, I feel like we're both gonna have a lot to say about him. This is, of course, the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Gah.
This is the one where, off the top of my head, I'm like, I love the Beast's story so much, and his growth and everything, but you really gotta think about it on what we're measuring today.
No.
Would he actually be a good boyfriend?
Absolutely not.
You are kind of right there, because while I do think that he becomes more boyfriend material by the end of the movie, it takes a certain kind of patience to deal with his temper tantrums and his like mental health issues that he's going through right now.
Fine, then go ahead and starve!
I'm glad this is just universal, because for me personally, I would put up with it. As long as he never turns into that white man again.
Well, that's the other thing we gotta discuss. If you fall in love with the Beast, truly love him, and it's before the curse, time limit is out, he's going to turn into the human Beast. And the human Beast is a controversial... it's a very controversial
Can I
design,
explain this controversy? Because I don't feel like you get it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't think you're going deep enough. Because it's a controversy to specifically furries.
I mean,
any other person would be like, yeah, okay, he's not like he's not the hottest guy, but he's still a guy and not a actual beast. But the furries are like, this was a nerf, 100% nerf. No, hold on, wait a minute. Nope, nerf. Nah, not for me.
But here's, can I take this moment to discuss something I dislike?
Yeah.
People have misconstrued. I don't know how this happened, but there's a moment where when the Beast turns human, Belle kind of like looks at him, like kind of almost she's like confused, or she's like pondering, right?
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, and then she takes a moment, she looks into his eyes, and she sees they're so much like the Beast's eyes, because his eyes didn't really change much. And then she's like, oh God, it is you. Oh, I'm so happy. And she goes and hugs him. And everybody and their goddamn mother is like, she was so disappointed.
No.
Really disappointed.
I'm not. Okay.
She took a look at him and she was like, he's ugly.
No,
It's like,
I
that's
get
not
that.
what she was thinking
and honestly,
at all.
I've seen the videos, I've seen the jokes. Look, it is just a joke. Like, I don't feel like anybody
No,
went
I'm
to
taking
Bella
it
and said, yeah,
seriously.
she's a furry. I get it, but it's like, it's a little funny, right? Like, come on.
No.
It's not funny to you? Like, it's a
No.
little funny.
No, it's not funny at all. Take the Disney movie seriously or get out of my house.
Oh my god.
Get out!
Look, I'm glad for her. I'm glad she likes him. That's fine. I'm still saying it's a nerf.
Okay, now, but does this have any status, like, bearing on his status as a boyfriend? Are we taking in physicality for that?
Well,
How hot they are? Because I feel like end of movie Beast would be a good boyfriend.
no, I don't.
Why not?
Not because of the physicality or whatever he looks like, but let's look into his past. He's possessive, obsessive.
Okay.
He has temper tantrums. Who's to say they stop?
Fair enough. We don't know really much about him post Beast life. That could have just been
Exactly,
part
and
of
they
his
don't make
personality.
movies about it post Beast.
You're right, they don't. The like 2 specials they made were like during the movie.
Exactly, and they didn't even want to explore, hey, what's the life with the human beast? And it's like, I'm sorry to say, I don't think he was angry about being quote unquote ugly, but I don't know if that makes him a better person if he's a human.
Well, I think part of it was the isolation and the fear that people had when they saw him as the Beast. He didn't feel like he could have a normal life, and that made him frustrated and angry. But now that he's like a regular guy with all his friends and a nice pretty wife, and like people come over to his house more often, maybe he would become a more sociable, nicer, easier to talk with man.
Tell me, Lou, how long was he in isolation?
A long time, I think.
Okay,
it's unclear.
Let's compare. The pandemic probably lasted for people maybe 2 years. Do you see how that changed people to the point where they're just evil in public?
Oh my god.
You're telling me
Yeah.
a possessive, obsessive, anger management problems guy just magically becomes better person because humans are now around him and he is also human?
Alright, I'll take that. Fair enough. But I'm still gonna give him a 6 out of 10.
He's getting a 4
6.5.
out of 10 from me.
Can I talk to you about The Little Mermaid now?
I thought we already talked about that guy.
We did not. We have not talked about Prince Eric of The Little Mermaid.
Okay.
Prince Eric is, I feel like he gets a lot more screen time.
Yeah.
Versus the Beast, who's like one of the main characters. But like versus the original Prince, Charming, Phillip, like Prince Eric is on screen a lot.
Actually, I have to
he's
be honest
around.
with you. I think he's also one of the only princes with a big personality. Like, I know him. You know, he seems to be interested in Ariel's interests. And I think that's nice.
I think that he's a fun character because he's this, obvious playboy. He's like on ships all the time, and then he comes home and he's like, man, I'm bored. It's boring around here. And then he sees something magical happen, and he's like, wow. I gotta get in there.
Okay. And also, I have to be honest with you. Unlike the Cinderella prince who just talked to a woman once and said, I gotta marry her, Ariel is actually interesting. So I would get his fascination with her.
Well, she's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, for human standards, she shows up like naked on the beach, and then she uses a fork in her hair at dinner time. My interest would be piqued if me.
Yeah, like, seriously. She actually, like, catches his attention. He's like, oh, okay. I need to know more about this girl. He actually tries to get to know her. They go on a date. For some reason, there's a crab there, and he's a little confused, but she's not. And he's just like,
Well, she can't talk.
Okay.
She lost her voice. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, don't be scared.
also, bops all around. Just great music. He's probably
That's
into
nothing to
it.
do with... That's nothing to do with Prince Eric and his
No,
boyfriend
I mean,
material status.
what if he's into it? Like, he's just into the
What if
music.
he likes the song?
I love this song.
Yeah.
Do you think the song Kiss the Girl is happening in real time?
I don't want to get into this debate. I really don't, because I have opinions on that. You're a musical head. You have opinions on that. Like, it's like, I don't know. But the point is, Sebastian was there helping, And he was just like, hey, the crab's here, but I can see you. I like you. You can't talk, but that's okay. Like, okay, he's open to that too. That's nice.
Now, here's the thing, though. I also have not watched Little Mermaid 2, so don't talk to me about
I don't want to
that
hear about
movie,
it.
I guess.
We don't have to
So
talk
Little
about it.
Little Mermaid. Prince Eric, I don't think it's ever said, like, what he does. I guess he's a prince, so he doesn't really have to do anything, but he clearly loves the sea. He loves to go on the ships and stuff. I imagine Ariel, who is kind of sea-phobic at this point, wouldn't really want to, like, join him too much on those adventures. Or maybe she would. I don't know.
I think she would. What?
But, like, in general, if your man was like, hey, every so often we're gonna get on an old ship and be away from land for, like, 3 months, how would you feel about that?
Lou,
Yeah?
you're acting like every rich white man doesn't do that to his family.
But I'm talking about, like, think about the ships in The Little Mermaid. Like, you'd be on an old rickety ship, you'd be doing hard labor, you'd probably get scurvy. I don't know.
Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe it's because I live in Florida, but I see that kind of man every day. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
But would that be a good boyfriend, always taking your family out to sea all the time?
Well, here's the thing. Ariel's family is in the sea. So whether or not she's sea-phobic, it doesn't matter. She'd be able to meet and greet with her family. She has a bunch of sisters and friends under the sea. So that would actually benefit her.
She would be able to see Precious Flounder.
Oh, Flounder.
Yes!
But, like,
What? Yeah!
But, like, this isn't something that he's doing for her. It is something that he enjoys doing. And he's mostly doing it for himself, right?
No. Okay, Lou, you've never seen the second one then.
I have not.
He meets her father.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So, yeah, I think they have to, like, she's like, hey, I want to go see my daddy. And then he's like, yeah, okay, I love boating. Let's fucking go. So they go on the sea.
Okay, so
Everybody's
he's
in the
open
ocean.
to these things.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what, Prince Eric? Maybe I'm being too hard on you.
I don't know why
you're
you weren't hard on anybody else but the guy who actually has a personality, shares interest with Ariel, and actually finds her interesting just like she finds him interesting.
8 out of 10.
I'm gonna give him a 10 out of 10. I think he'd be a very attentive and good boyfriend. And husband.
Now, let's go to a land that is perhaps more desert-like with our main man, the charming boy of the 90s, Aladdin.
They were coming out with bangers in the 90s, weren't they?
They really were.
Because these
Aladdin,
are genuinely guys I like.
Aladdin's kind of cheeky, isn't he? He's kind of a little
Lou,
trickster.
you know me. I love a good I love a good band. I love a good argument. I love a little bit of a squabble. Like, we gotta, like, fight a little bit. Like, it's like, not even then, you know, he's a little cheeky, he's a little funny. There's nothing wrong with that.
He's a little wild. He is a liar, also.
Come on, Lou.
He also very much is a liar.
I'm just a different guy. I'm just a different like person, because I would just think that's funny, especially if they're small lies. He's like, "Hey, do you have peanut butter here?"
He did not do a small lie.
No, because what if he was just? Oh, you mean him faking his identity for a woman?
Yes.
Come on.
What do you mean? Come on. He like totally lied to her and played her for a fool.
That's a little dramatic.
No, it's not. He insulted her intelligence. He lied to her.
Did you think I was stupid?
Okay, well, I wouldn't want that for Jasmine. I just wouldn't, because that's not fair. You're right. I don't think he's a very good boy. That's not very nice. Don't do that. But look at that smile.
He's also, I know. He's also real cute, isn't he?
He's a little cheeky.
He's a little funny. I mean, he's young. You know, we all make mistakes.
Let's think about this. Let's think. Yes, she is for the people. I agree, but he doesn't know that. So, obviously, the point of the movie is that he felt that he needed to change who he was in order to get her attention. He didn't know that he didn't have to do that. That's a lesson he learns. But it's just like,
fair enough.
And you're right. He's young. He's stupid, and he's not the only person that's done that. And as soon as he's found out, he changes his ways, because he's like, oh, she likes me for me. She doesn't care who I am. That's awesome. You have to.
He also frees the genie, which is really cool of him.
So it's just like, hey, he freed the genie. Nice guy.
Nice guy.
Yeah.
Pretty nice guy. I haven't seen the other sequels to this one.
Don't worry about that. Do not worry about
Return
that.
of Jafar. I don't know her. Return of the one where he has a dad. Don't know him.
I never heard about that. Don't want to hear about it. Does not matter. Point of the movie was, he learned his lessons. Like, just be who you are. That's probably why he has such a great personality. But his thing is that he's poor.
He's also pretty athletic, I would say.
Oh,
He's a great
100%.
trait. He could do all those flips and stuff. He runs a lot.
He invented
he's
parkour.
fit.
Yeah.
He invented parkour. You know what they should do? They should do an Assassin's Creed game where you play as Aladdin.
You're in for a treat.
Is that real?
More than likely.
You just made that up.
There's no way I made it up.
You don't know anything about Assassin's Creed.
I know one game.
That? Okay.
And I bet you money they have the Aladdin game ready to go.
Do you think it's like in the waiting room, just waiting?
I swear to God, Lou, if you look it up and say like, I don't know, Assassin's Creed, Arabian Nights, all of a sudden you're seeing it.
Let me see. Assassin's Creed. In Assassin's Creed Mirage, they do go to... Huh. What do you know? Aladdin, I'm gonna give you an 8.5 out of 10.
Aladdin,
Pretty
because
high.
you're just so cheeky and cute, I'll give you a 9 out of 10. So cute.
Let's talk about the king who just couldn't wait to be Simba, the lion. Why'd you make that noise?
I'm not a fan of Simba.
You don't like Simba?
No. Please understand. I think he's a wonderful character. I like him. He goes through it. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
he goes through it. But I look off into the distance. What about Kovu?
Okay, well, we're not talking about Lion King 2. We're talking about Lion King 1. Kovu, I couldn't care less about.
Okay. That was unnecessary to say. What's that about?
Simba, remember who you are. We're talking about Simba.
He's fine. He's a lion.
You had so much to say about Baloo, and he's a bear.
Baloo is built different.
Okay, well...
Let me come back here. Let's imagine Simba as a human. What are his traits? Go ahead.
Simba is loyal. He is fun. He likes to eat bugs.
Yeah, that's gonna be a red flag from me.
Red flag? Who? What do you mean?
Eating bugs?
Bugs are a nutritious meal for some people, including
Agreed. Yeah, that's true.
meerkats and Pumbaa.
Okay, well, we just came out of that. All right.
What's going on with that?
Here's what I will say.
Were they fucking?
What's going on? Lou, I thought we were talking about Simba.
I got distracted.
Okay, well, number one, yes, but also number two, can I talk about Simba again, please?
Yeah, I guess you can.
Simba, outside, like, let's bring it back to the qualities. Personally, I like that he is open-minded, that he tries anything once, that he is fun, but, he needs the right push in the right direction. To be honest, it just kind of feels like he's pushed into a relationship. Like...
Okay, I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like... But it's outside of a human context, it's just because he's a lion, and that's what they're supposed to be doing. In his head, and like, what else is he supposed to be doing? Otherwise, he'd end up like Scar over there.
It's like his childhood friend, and they spend a lot of time together, and then he disappears for like a year or so or whatever.
Right.
I don't know how lions age, but it's a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of time.
So I'm not opposed to him. I understand he's a boyfriend, but it just feels like he's a boyfriend because he feels like he has to be one.
But I'm asking how he would be. Like, if you were his partner, how would he be as a boyfriend for you?
He couldn't handle me. That's what I know.
Okay.
But it's like, he just seems like the type of boyfriend who's just like, he's like, hey, do you need some money for anything? I got some extra money on the side here if you like some.
He's a king. He's got money.
you're right. That's gonna bump him up a little bit. If you got money, you got money. Like he's the kind of money where it's like he's in IT and he just spends the rest of the day just chilling.
He's a landowner.
Oh,
he owns a lot of land.
That's a -2. Nah.
Oh my god.
You can't have money and then come out and be like, yeah, but I'm a landowner, so they pay me.
No.
And I'm like, God.
You do make a good point about him being a lion. As a male lion, he wouldn't be doing a lot of the hunting. He would require his partner to be doing a lot of the hunting, which is fine. We love a stay-at-home dad. But
that's one energy that I didn't even take it that way. I was just like, oh, he a lazy bum. Never mind.
Well, he can stay home and take care of the kids.
True.
Except I'm pretty sure the lionesses also take
yep.
care of the kids.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
To me now, because you mentioned that, he's like, he weaponizes his incompetence.
Okay. He doesn't do what he needs to do to provide.
He's like, oh, Nala, I would love to help, but I just don't know how to wash the dishes. How do you do it?
You're so good at it. Can you just do it?
Yeah, just do it because you're so good at it. And Nala's just like, okay.
I have a hard time keeping track of the zebra I'm catching. They're just so confusing. But you're so good at it, Nala. Could you chase that one over there? The one with the lip? That'd be awesome. Thank you.
I don't like doing this to Simba. The funny thing is, like, in the other movies, he's a very attentive father. So I'm just like, I don't know.
He's also kind of a bastard. I mean, he's really mean to Kovu.
I humbly ask to join your pride.
No.
He's like, I don't want you around here because you're different.
Clear. Like, no, yes, I think he's stupid for just prejudging Kovu. But at the same time, he's from Scar's pack. How is he supposed to feel? Scar killed his father.
Fair enough. I'll give it that
It doesn't
much.
matter if Kovu is tasty. It's just like
Oh!
Simba has a right to feel upset and betrayed. But luckily he learns his lesson by the end, so it's fine.
I'm gonna give Simba I'm gonna give him a 3, I think.
Wow.
3 out of 10.
I was actually going to be generous and give him a 4.
I mean, that's fine. That's your ranking. Mine's a 3.
Okay.
I've talked myself down.
Damn.
I used to like Simba, now I hate him. This next character we're talking about is in a movie where there are no princes or princesses, but yet his character, his charm, how could he not be a prince to me? I'm talking about Quasimodo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
There is kind
10
of
out
a
of
prince
10.
character, but I'm glad you picked him.
10 out of 10. 10 out of
10
10.
out of 10.
I'm not even 10 out of 10. What a gentleman.
I was gonna
What
be
a-
rude about him, but then I saw his face and I was just like, I love him so much. I can't be mean about him.
He loves animals.
Yes.
He loves to dance.
Yes.
He loves a party.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
let's be real. He loves a party. He's got the voice of an angel.
Oh my god.
coming out of him. He stands against oppression.
Mm-hmm.
He fights for the unjust stuff that Frollo does.
Yeah, he stands against it, yeah.
He's willing to learn. He's open-minded. Even though Frollo's been like shoving bigotry in his head for years, Quasimodo still can't help but see the good and empathize with people. He doesn't feel entitled to Esmeralda's attention. He's like a little upset about it, but then he learns to love her boyfriend. I forget his name.
I don't give a fuck about
It's
them. I don't give a-
Frederick.
What's his
Phineas.
name?
It's Phineas.
Frederick?
I think it's Phineas.
Phineas.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe? Anywho,
Well, who
Quasimodo would be a great boyfriend. I know they made a second one where he has a girlfriend. I didn't see that one, I'll be honest. I didn't
Yeah,
see that
I mean,
one either.
It was alright. It was whatever, but I'd rather stick to just the first one.
But I think Quasimodo would be a great boyfriend. 10 out of 10. Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Bless my soul.
You're
Herc was on a
specifically...
roll. How do we feel about Hercules?
Ugh!
Ugh.
I don't know if everybody knows this yet, but I just have a weird, relationship with Hercules for some reason.
Yeah, you really hate Hercules.
I don't hate it.
You hate him. You hate it when he sings. You hate his movie and his friends.
The funny thing is that I love the show. I love the music. I love Meg. So I'm just like, Hercules himself, hit or miss, surprisingly. Because he's like the only Disney man who's in my range other than the Beast.
In your range?
of guys I would hang out with. Because I'm trying to be PG.
Guys I would hang out with. Asterisk, asterisk. Now, Hercules is a very naive man. He's innocent. He's sweet. He has a sense of justice and all that. But I think this would make him a bad boyfriend. I think for me, if I was in a partner, I'm looking for someone with experience. Someone who can keep up. Someone who's not going to fall for easy tricks like Hercules does. I think he's just a little too new to the world. He's like a baby. I just don't think that would make a good boyfriend.
I actually have to agree with you. I don't really it's not that he's not cute. It's just that I know a lot of girls are into the himbo stuff. I am not. I don't
not a himbo lover.
I love that they are respectful and kind to everyone despite being big and lunky. But it's like, I also need him to know how to do taxes.
Okay.
And have a job. Because I don't want to learn all that. I don't want to do all that.
Plus, if you date Hercules, that guy Phil's gonna be around a lot. And I don't know if I want to I don't know if I want to deal with that.
I don't either. Man! Okay, this is like, Hercules is a guy I actually would, like, actually hang out with. Like, the regular version of hanging out. Like, he seems like a nice guy. But I would not date him. That's a 2 out of 10 for me.
I'm gonna be a little generous. I'll give him like a 6.5, maybe 7 if I'm feeling a certain way.
Do you think he will learn?
I think he has the capacity for it. I mean, he's still quite young, so he can become better. But as of the end of even at the end of the movie, even though he's learned a lesson and all that, I just think that he needs to work on some stuff personally.
True. Okay. The Phil thing really just brought him down a lot for me. Like, I wish you didn't mention that.
Can we talk about Shang of Mulan? Also not a prince, really. But
I mean, obviously not. But you could still put him there because Mulan is technically considered a Disney princess, despite her also not being a princess.
I think Shang would be a bad boyfriend. And I'm only saying this because I've seen Mulan too.
We're talking about the same guy, right?
He's so mean in Mulan 2. He's like very, very cruel in Mulan 2. I'm surprised they let them do that to him because he's kind of normal in the first movie.
What does he do in the second one?
So like they're engaged now, right?
Spicy.
And they have to take 3 princesses like across the country to go to an arranged marriage. Otherwise, a war will break out. And, like, a lot of people will die. And Mulan's like, but I think you should marry for love. Love is so beautiful, and you should marry for love. And the 3 princesses are like, yeah, but we gotta do this, otherwise there's gonna be a war. And Shang's like, yeah, they gotta do it, Mulan, we gotta go. And, like, the whole time, Mushu is, like, sabotaging their relationship and making it seem like, stuff's happening. And then Mulan keeps talking to the princesses about true love. And then it starts pissing Shang off, because he's like, we gotta get them to the place to do the thing. Shut up. Stop talking. And he's like really mean to her. And then he like dies.
He dies?
He falls off a bridge and he dies.
You're joking.
No. Look up Shang dies right now.
I'm not. Look, I trust you. You wouldn't lie to me now, would you, Lou?
No, I wouldn't. You should watch Mulan 2 though.
Maybe I'm taking it at a different angle because I'm sitting here like, okay, you're telling me taking to these girls like wherever they need to go will stop a war? Is that what's going on?
Yes, essentially, yes. They have to take these 3 princesses. It's the emperor's daughters to another country, or sorry, I forget if it's another country or like another part of the country, to get arranged marriage, and so that way there will be no war. And Mulan is like trying to, tell them to like very feministly trying to be like, you need to speak up and do what you got to do, which is great and everything if they weren't in ancient China where they got to do these things so 100,000 million like innocent people won't die. And then on top of that, you remember Mulan's fuck-ass friends from the first movie? The 3 guys?
Yeah.
They're a part of the caravan, too. And they fall in love with the princesses, and the princesses fall in love with them.
I might have to take them all out.
You
Let's break this down. To avoid a war where a bunch of innocent people will die, you have to go across the country and marry people you don't know.
Yes.
And Mulan is trying to stop that as if she has a solution to war aside from doing that.
And, like, it's weird because Mulan in the first movie didn't really seem to have a very strong opinion on, like, marrying for true love. Like, I know there was the whole, like, matchmaker thing and, like, arranged marriage stuff, but she didn't really, like, the only issue she seemed to have was that she kind of sucked at the interview. Like, she would have happily been in an arranged marriage, because it's like, whatever, what you do. And the thing that was her driving, factor was the fact that she loved her father so much and didn't want him to die, so she was willing to take that sacrifice and also kind of, in a way, prove herself, whatever. To, like, the second movie where she's all like, true love, you gotta trust true love, nothing's more important than true love. And it's like, that's nice and all. There's a war gonna happen.
Lou, I have to be real with you. I cannot rate Li Shang based on that second movie, because one, no wonder everyone hates it. It's not good. and two, there's so much to talk about in the first one. He finds out he's bisexual in that first one. So I gotta give him hats off to you, brother. Good representation. So I'm not gonna base him on number one being reasonable in the second movie. She was like, true love. The war's gonna happen if they don't get married to these guys. I don't care about Hudley, Studley, and whoever the other guy is. If they fall in love with them, we need to avoid conflict. We're doing it with love. You cannot be serious, Mul. And he dies? Lou, are you lying to me?
Okay, he does die, but like they think he's dead for like 15 minutes, and then he like shows up at the climax and he's actually alive. But he does like die. Like they think he's dead. And like Mulan's
Lou, do you understand how stupid it would have been if they made that man die for being right?
He was kind of mean about it though.
I agree. Yes, he was mean about it. However, no, I'm not basing anything off of that movie. To me, Li Shang, yeah, he has to work on how he feels about men and women, but also finding himself in that movie bumps him up a little bit to 6 out of 10. Whatever, that's fine. He's fine.
I'll give him a 5.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Let's talk about the king of the jungle.
How many of
Tarzan.
Those are there?
It's Tarzan. Tarzan.
Oh God.
I'm gonna give him a 9.
You're insane. You're insane.
Why?
Maybe I have different standards for men, but if you come around not wearing shoes, not wearing pants, get out of my sight.
He can't help it. He was raised by monkeys. I mean,
you're
gorillas.
giving too much of a chance to a guy raised by monkeys.
He killed a cheetah for them. He's a protector. He's a provider.
For monkeys.
For gorillas.
Apologies to the gorilla community. I should not have said that. Gorillas, apes. He'd be a good boyfriend to Turk. Go ahead and I'll go ahead and jump off a cliff now.
Turk is a lesbian.
I know that. I should have known better. I should be ran over by.
Just go. Just leave.
I should have said all that. I'm sorry to the chat.
I'm sorry to the Turk community.
I'm sorry to the Turk community. I shouldn't have said that. That's on me. I'm sorry. Let me be clear. If Tarzan was dating a gorilla woman, different story. Jane, do you know that trope, Born Yesterday?
Yeah.
This is the gender reverse of it. I would not put a second on Tarzan if he could not wear shoes and like anywhere.
But he shows capacity to learn and like start to speak, and understands complex things.
I know, and I understand that. But I personally would not feel comfortable entering a relationship with someone who has to keep learning. I would want to help them learn, but not in a sexual relationship. Maybe that's me.
I mean,
it's just like there's one thing if there was a language barrier, but there's a life barrier. He's basically a child in comparison to Jane. It's a little weird.
All right.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
But
like,
on
when he
gorilla
talks- when he
standards,
talks-
10 out of 10 guy. The gorilla
When he
girlies are
talks
like,
to
ooh,
the animals-
ooh, a cheetah.
He talks to the animals. He understands things. He's not stupid.
I know he's not
He just doesn't
stupid,
understand,
and I understand
he just
that.
doesn't understand modern technology because he hasn't been around it.
Yes, and I understand that, but from a perspective like that, Jane is far ahead of him and is also more likely to take advantage of him. It's the same trope, and we have to understand that. I do not think Tarzan would be a good boyfriend to her, and I don't think Jane would be a good girlfriend to him.
We have to cancel Tarzan.
We don't have to cancel Tarzan.
We have to cancel Tarzan.
Hey, I will say this. Don't cry. I will say this. Jane coming to live with him, mad respect to her.
Yeah, I think there's some mutual understanding there. I'll bump mine down to a 7.
You know, and like I'll give him a 6 because he is hot. So I understand. Jane, I get it. Jane, I get it, but we gotta learn a little more before we do anything like that again, okay? Don't do that again.
Yeah, don't meet another ape man.
Don't do that. That's ridiculous.
So you might not like this next one.
What?
But I think to me, he's in a way an important male character in the Disney film legacy.
God.
Even though his ride is being torn down as we speak, I am of course talking about Aladar from Disney's Dinosaur.
Lou,
Yes.
this boy is not a prince.
He's a dinosaur.
Alright, so...
1 out of 10.
You're doing what?
1 out of 10.
I was gonna give 0 out of 10. Cause like, he could do whatever, but he's whiny as fuck. You don't think I had the toys for this thing? I know this movie. Whiny as fuck. Hated him.
Do you like his ride?
I don't even think I rode the ride.
You haven't even ridden the ride. You can't anymore.
I'm sorry to the ride fans, I guess.
Me. That's me. I'm the
I'm sorry
ride
to you
fan.
personally. I don't remember riding that ride. I didn't even know it was still around.
Not anymore.
Oh, well, rip, I guess. Sorry, bud. I didn't know.
What's his name? Kuzco!
Yes! Horrible
He's the king of the
boyfriend!
world.
Doel?
It would
Wait.
be so
No,
bad.
stop. Come with me. I walk through
Okay, taking
multiple
your hand.
hallways, start running really fast. Listen. Horrible boyfriend to women. However, with the right bear, he would be different.
Okay.
He's a
Okay.
brat.
He is.
Are you?
needs
Oh
to
my
be-
god! If he got with a big man who's just like,
Yeah, I wonder what big man he could get with in his movie.
Hacha has a wife and kids. He's gone.
And?
Okay, off the market. I don't want to hear about side stuff.
What
I
about-
don't care. Lou,
What about Kronk?
you changed the game. You changed the game. Oh my god. No. I have to be realistic.
Hate your hair. Not likely. Yikes. And let me guess, you have a great personality. Is this really the best you could do?
Yes. No.
Kuzco needs a man to rein him in, to keep him on the
Okay.
ground, but also give him
Firm.
money.
Rich,
He is
firm
rich.
handling.
Does he? So here's now the dynamic changes because Kuzco would be like, yeah, just come over, just let me bounce on you for a little bit. I'll give you some money. We don't have to do a
Oh my
relationship
God.
or anything. Actually, he'd be a bad boyfriend in all aspects and every gender.
Kuzco would be a bad boyfriend no matter who you were.
Yeah, I thought about it because I'm just like, if he had a more like guy who reins him in kind of boyfriend, maybe he'd straighten up. But otherwise, I'm like, no. He just seems like a playboy. I don't even think he wants to be in a relationship.
I don't think so either. Like, he's obviously a better person by the end of the movie, but I don't think he's ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
He's still impulsive. He's still kind of like snarky, sarcastic. Like, those are things that are not going to change, even if he decides to treat poor people better.
He also treats poor people badly, and like that's already enough to be like, I don't like this dude.
And even if he was in a gay relationship, it would still be bad news bears all the way down. All the way down.
Hats off to you, bisexual king. But yeah, you're just bad all around. Just a horrible person.
2 out of 10. for Kuzco.
Yeah, 2 out of 10 is fine.
This is one I feel like you could get into a lot of arguments with a certain type of person.
Us?
But not us. No, we'll probably think similarly about Mr. Milo Thatch of Atlantis fame.
You're gonna hate me. I think he's very cute.
No, Dawn, come back. Come back to my side.
No,
He's
no.
Too involved. He's way
listen.
too involved in his work. He would be a horrible boyfriend.
Oh, if it's based solely on yeah, he'd be a horrible boyfriend. But he's a little cute.
Oh no, he's not.
He's not cute.
No,
He's
I don't think
giving,
he's
like,
cute at all.
Rat guy. Oh,
Rat guy.
cute. But it's like, no, please understand. I think he's cute, but I do agree that he'd be a terrible boyfriend.
I think he is way too manic.
Oh,
and
he's a
everything
little-
he does.
Oh, I don't know. Lou, I like them whimsical.
Whimsical is one thing. Being too much is another thing.
Girl,
He is
I'm too much. It's like we'd be too much together.
He's obsessed with Atlantis. He studies it all the time. He talks about it all the time. He knows too much about it. He finally gets there. Once he gets there, the first thing he does is get with one of the Atlantean women. And then that's it for him, right? Like that's it. Milo's adventure.
He's kind of insane, right? Like, he did it.
He's kind of insane.
He
He goes all the way to Atlantis to get laid. Who does that?
Men? You're acting like
True.
Milo's the only man ever to do. Literally, it's a trope.
Yeah, they always go to Atlantis to get laid.
Okay, I'm sorry, but what about just going to another place to get laid? Captain
I mean,
Kirk does that every week. Come on, don't put all that on him. At least Milo is cute. At least he has special interests.
Debatable. True.
So,
I'll give it-
no, he's
he's-
a horrible
he's got
boyfriend. I
more to
still
talk.
agree.
He's got a lot to talk about. I mean, you'd never have a boring dinner conversation.
Well, he'd
with
only
Milo,
talk
right?
about Atlantis, though. Which, for someone like me who actually likes hearing about my friend's interests, yeah, I would enjoy it, but I understand most people not enjoying that. They would like to talk about anything else.
Well, I mean, I guess it would depend on, would he be interested in your interests?
Exactly. No.
Which, no, he wouldn't. He would be
Unless
very
we were having a date in Atlantis, and he was just like, hey, I know it's your first time here. Let me show you around. Let me show you all the cool things you can do here. Fuck around. Yeah. I'd hang out with him. Yeah.
But what if you were trying to talk to him about, like, World of Warcraft or something?
Oh,
And
he
was
would
like,
kill me off. But I could tell him there is an Atlantis in World of Warcraft. There's actually 3 Atlantises in World of Warcraft. Maybe he'll play.
Why are there so many Atlantises in World of Warcraft?
Hey, ask them, not me. I still showed up.
Well, why would you have to, like, almost, like, spoon feed your boyfriend your interest to make it more interesting for him?
I literally do that every day, Lou. What
Don't
you
do
mean?
that. Don't do that.
It's just that if I want my friends to be into something, I try and get them with something they're actually interested in. So, if I want him to play World of Warcraft, I would tell him, hey, there are a lot of underwater zones. If you actually like Atlantis, maybe you'll like to explore these too. Like, that's how you do it.
But what if you're just trying to talk to him about, like, oh, the new expansion came out, and you start talking to him about it, and he's like, is there a new Atlantis in the new expansion? He's not gonna care otherwise.
You got me, okay? I would have been like, it's just underground. But it's like, I don't know what to say. Because it's just like, I understand that he wouldn't be interested in my interests. I kind of just do that automatically, that I just assume people don't like what I'm liking. But it's like, I would try to relate to him. But again, most people wouldn't do that. And I also don't think he'd be a good boyfriend.
I'm gonna give him a 3 out of 10.
I'm giving him a 4 out of 10. I think he's still cute, and I would hang out with him.
Let's talk about Disney's leap into live action with their movie Enchanted and the Prince character, Prince Edward.
Oh, he just looked like that, huh?
It's Sonic's dad.
No, because I need to figure out every movie this dude's in, because he just has
He's in
fun.
Hairspray.
Huh, what?
He was in Hairspray.
He has fun with his roles, man. great choices for movies. He said, fuck it, if I'm not singing and dancing, I'm not showing up. Hell yeah.
Prince Edward is considered more of an antagonistic role in this movie, but he's kind of supposed to be a parody of, like, the original Prince we talked about, and, like, Eric and Phillip and all them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that he kind of becomes his own character in that he is very himbo-like. He just kind of takes things at face value. He knows his duties. I'm a prince, so I need to, be manly. I need to fight the dragon. I need to sweep you off your feet. I need to do these big, giant, romantic gestures. Mm-hmm. And the point of the movie, I guess, being this is not something that's realistic or attainable in real life. And so lower your expectations quick, because you're not getting a Prince Edward everywhere you look. But I think that means that Prince Edward is a good boyfriend, or would be a good...
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So I'm just like, so the movie just said, lower your standards?
Essentially. Now, I like Enchanted, but I do think it goes a little too hard on the, Disney movies aren't, they're just fantasy. They're not real. It's like, yes, they're fantasy because you got talking animals and such and magic, but you should find a partner that makes you feel respected and appreciated and makes you feel like a prince, princess, or whatever.
Right.
I think that's fine. I think that's okay.
Like, sorry that he's actually trying to treat her nice. I mean, I get the problem of him, like, following her around and saying, it is my duty to do this for you. Like, have a personality, get a hobby. But, like, right. I don't... I think Disney's saying, hey, settle for the bullshit that you take from this random guy because you're not going to get better than that. It's fucking insane.
I agree. I think that Prince Edward is a solid, like, 8.5 out of 10. I would put him pretty high up.
Yeah, I give him an 8.
Like a nice guy.
I give him an 8 out of 10 too.
Let's talk about Prince Naveen.
Oh, gorgeous.
He is very cute. We cannot deny this.
He's giving a little cheeky.
He's cute. We gotta, though, acknowledge the fact that he kind of sucks sometimes a little bit. I mean, he's a playboy. He's spoiled. Never worked a day in his life. Is this boyfriend material? No.
I was gonna say something out of pocket. I'm not doing it no more. But but my point is that I'm used to it, so he can go ahead and do whatever he wants. I'll take care of him.
Oh my god.
It's like, he's worse than Kuzco. That's crazy. He goes to the same thing Kuzco does. I don't know if he gets better.
He kind of does. I mean, at the end of the movie, he's like knows how to chop vegetables. That's nice.
Never mind. This is no. He's for nobody. No, not one gender. Like,
Naveen's alright. He's handsome. He obviously is empathetic. Like when he starts talking with Tiana, and he kind of puts away the playboy, mask that he has on.
Okay.
He's like, you know what? I understand your struggle, and I want to help you with this restaurant. Like, he wants to do that for her. He's even willing to marry the other girl, Lottie or whatever, to give Tiana what she wants.
That's really, like, that's a good point. And also, by the way, out of nowhere, Lottie's just really nice.
I like her.
She's great. And you would have been like, oh, she's the antagonist. She's trying to go up against Tiana. No. Her bestie. Best friend. Not once was she not on her side. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad that Disney actually did that. Because she's so nice. She's so wonderful. And Naveen would have been very just lucky to have her.
Right. Like, he really couldn't have gone in any wrong direction. Either one. He was getting a good girlfriend, wife, whatever.
And I honestly, I was being too harsh. I think that he can grow and change. Like, like, he puts up that mask to defend himself. But afterwards, when he becomes vulnerable and actually talks, like, I feel like he has the capacity to, like, be a good boyfriend.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 7.5. No, 7. I'll give him a 7.
I'll give him a 7. Yeah, that's fine.
Let's talk about my arch enemy.
What?
I hate him. I hate him so much, and I want him to die. I'm, of course, referring to popular bad boy, Flynn Rider.
You are a hater.
I am.
let me be clear. I'm not really a fan of this Disney animation style. I personally wish they'd stop it and just do something interesting, because they all look like dolls. They all look marketable. But you're a hater.
What? What do you mean?
He's fun.
No, he's not. He sucks.
Are you basing this solely on the cartoon?
No, I'm talking about the fact that Rapunzel is a young woman who's never left her house. She's like 18, freshly 18. And here comes Flynn Rider, who's 26 years old. He's incredibly dismissive of her, tricks her, tries to get her in trouble at that saloon place, and then, like, lies to her for pretty much the whole movie. Until the very end, where he's like, you know what? You ain't so bad, kid.
Okay,
in love with her.
Horrible boyfriend, like, for real. 0 out of 10. I would hang out with him.
Okay, I mean,
but
that's
I'm
fine.
older than Rapunzel. Let me hang out with him in her stead. Don't worry, Rapunzel, get behind me.
Get away from her!
I just think that, you know, he could have been a little kinder to it. Now, I understand he had a rough upbringing, but his constant snarkiness is aggravating. He's always got a fucking one-liner up his ass that he's got to pull out and show off to everyone. Shit covered in everything.
Ew.
I just can't. I just can't stand him.
Here, I have to be real with you. I really dislike men like that. It's not my flavor. Some girls like the banter. Some girls like the teasing. I'm not them. I am not a girl. I don't believe in it. So, it's like, if this dude even snarks at me once, we're fucking fighting.
No, he does, you know, start to become gentler, kinder as he gets to know her. He sees her as an equal, you know, respects that she can hit him really hard with a frying pan if she really wanted to.
I would respect anybody who hit me real hard with a frying pan.
So, you know, this is just me being really hard on him because I personally hate him and want him to die. But he'd probably be okay as a boyfriend.
It takes an energy for him. Like I said, I would still give him a chance. There are worse men than him. Not in Disney, but in general. Trust me. Yeah, he's snarky and stuff. I would just tell him to shut the fuck up, hit him a little bit. But at the end of the day, we're relaxing, we're maxing. This is just our relationship. This is what we do. We just sit around and do this. I would be okay with him.
Beautiful.
I'll give him a 6 out of 10.
I'll give him a 2.5.
Wow, you hate this dude.
I do. I really do.
You even let up a little bit and you gave him a 2 out of 10.
I have one more guy to talk about.
Okay.
And I fear that, unfortunately, as our last guy, he is about as interesting as the crust off a white piece of bread. I'm talking about Kristoff from
0
Frozen.
out of 10.
Now, why do you say this?
God. It's funny that they came up with a guy as boring and milquetoast as literally the first Prince Charming, and I just can't believe they managed to do this guy again so long after that guy.
I just think there's nothing really to Kristoff. He's not even charming, I would say.
No.
He just kind of exists. He criticizes Anna, and then he kind of just is around. I don't even really understand why she likes him.
He criticizes her?
Yeah, because they're he does bring up a good point, but he kind of does it rudely. She's like, I'm engaged to this guy, and he's like, you're so fucking stupid. You can't get engaged to a guy you just met, idiot. And she's like, yeah,
He did not say that.
Yeah, he did, verbatim.
Look, that is probably the one thing I remember about him, but I have to be honest, he did make a point. He was just like, why would you marry someone you just met? What? Yeah, why would she? Have you considered that, Anna? What happened there? So I'm just like, he's not like he's out of nowhere, like fucking Li Shang was. But he's like, yeah, no, I'd sit there and be like, yeah, that is kind of weird, Anna. But then again, it's like, he's still boring. Does he have hobbies outside of that other than his fucking moose or something?
Yeah, he's got the moose. I think he does ice. He does ice picking. I don't know. I mean, he's got a job, but
that's not a hobby.
So that's kind of nice. I mean, but he's a provider, is what I'm saying.
He's not a provider.
do you mean?
You
He's
telling me
gotten
man with
worse.
a blue-collar job is gonna provide for a princess?
Okay, well, I'm talking about your average day-to-day person
Like, I'm
here.
not gonna hate him for being average day to day. So I'm also kind of like, this is racking up the points for me. He just seems like a very reasonable young man.
I'm gonna give him a 5.
I will also give him. Actually, you know what? I'll give him a 6. I genuinely think, like, of real world standards, he has a job. He's reasonable. He seems to like Anna a little bit, maybe. But it's like, maybe he's also like, why would I fall in love with a girl after one day? Let me get to know this bitch first. So honestly, it's like reasonable guy. He seems like, actually, I give him a higher score, 7 out of 10. He seems like a reasonable guy. He may be boring, but he'd be a perfect boyfriend. A human.
So that was all the eligible bachelors. They're not eligible, actually.
They're
a lot
not.
of them get married. Those are all the Disney men and boyfriends and what's nots that I wanted to talk about today. I'll put everyone's score in a nice little slideshow or something at the end. And, well, thank you for joining me on this journey.
You know, I always want to be on a journey, doing whatever this is.
I feel like I've learned a lot about these characters that I never thought about before. When it came out.
I'm glad I could provide perspective.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot to learn here. Well, thank you everybody for watching. See ya!
Bye!